These are the three medical plans that are being offered to you by your employer, and they are offered through Florida Healthcare Plans. When you're looking at the three plans and trying to make the best decision for yourself or you and your family, you may want to frame the question, what do your current benefits look like? What's working, perhaps what's not working, or do you have any treatments or procedures scheduled for this upcoming coverage period? By thinking of that question, it will help guide you into making the best plan choice for yourself for this upcoming year. Now, what's the same on all three of these plans? We'll take a closer look here. Your annual physical, that includes your annual blood work, any preventative screening that is appropriate for your age and gender will be covered at 100% when staying in the Florida Healthcare Network. And I would advise when you make that appointment to use that terminology, annual physical or annual blood work, so that it is coded correctly and you will not pay for that service. Now, there's roughly two ways you will pay for a service. You will see something called a copayment, or you'll see where it says deductible plus coinsurance. So let's take a look at this copayment first. So as you can see on all three of these plans, when you go for an office visit, you'll be expected to make a copayment. A copayment is a fixed flat dollar amount that is expected to be paid at the time of service. I like to say, imagine it's like a ticket that you pay to go back to see the doctor. So I'll zoom in here a little bit closer on all three of these plans. You'll see there are quite a bit of services that have the word copay beside it. Now, there's many more services that these plans cover. We like just to take a snippet to demonstrate on this page so that you understand how your plan works. When you make a copayment, that money in network tracks to the same location, and that spot that it tracks to is this annual out-of-pocket maximum. I like to call it a bucket. So anytime you make a copayment, that money gets accounted for. And if we use, let's say, the second plan as an example, that money would be added into this bucket. The top one, $4,500, is the amount that that bucket does hold. Okay. The bottom one is reflective if you're adding dependents. And in a moment, I'll circle back to how that annual out-of-pocket maximum does work. So know that your copayments in network does track towards that bucket. That really matters. Now, if you look at some other services, and I'll scroll out here, that specifically are on this first plan, let's look at outpatient surgery. You'll see the word deductible plus coinsurance, or even up here if you go and seek out chiropractic care. The way that works is when staying in network, when you go to seek out care from a provider where the service is tracking towards your deductible and potentially your coinsurance, when staying in network, you'll be offered a reduced, negotiated, contracted rate for that service because that provider does have a contract with Florida Healthcare. When you make, or if you make any type of payment for those services, that money goes into a deductible bucket. So using this first plan as an example, you can see if you sign up employee only, that deductible bucket could hold $2,500 of your money. And of course, the bottom number is reflective if you're adding dependents. Now, some folks go throughout their health journey in a calendar year and they do not meet their deductible, and that's okay. If you were to seek out care for a service that says deductible plus coinsurance and you meet or you hit your deductible, imagine a wall knocking down, you then go on to phase two. Phase two is called coinsurance. Coinsurance is a cost sharing between you and the insurance company. So specifically on this first plan, if you were to hit your or beat your deductible and then go back and seek care that has the words deductible plus coinsurance, now you're only paying 30% of that reduced and negotiated contracted rate, whereas Florida Healthcare is absorbing the remainder of that. You never want to hit your deductible, but the good thing is if you do meet your deductible, now your bills have significantly lowered. Your third phase is the phase I was referring to earlier, which is that out-of-pocket maximum. So as you can see, I'll zoom in here so you can see it better. on this first plan, second plan, and third plan, if you were the top numbers in employee only, if you were to meet that third phase, your out-of-pocket maximum, health covered services thereafter when staying in network would be covered at 100%. Now, you do have prescription drug coverage on all three of these plans. Florida Healthcare does have its own pharmacy. So when you can have your prescriptions filled at a Florida Healthcare pharmacy, that is going to be a great way to keep your out-of-pocket cost lower. Now, after hours, or if it's not convenient for you, there are certain standard select Walgreens that you can also have your prescriptions filled. And how do you know which Walgreens to go to? In a moment, I'll be going over the importance of creating a member portal and how to find that information. So as you can see, there's many tiers or different types of prescriptions that you may have a doctor prescribe for you. If it's talk to your doctor. If it's in your medical best interest, having a generic prescription often is a good way to lower that expense. So as you can see, the first number in all of these columns reflects having your prescription filled at a Florida Healthcare pharmacy. You'll pay a flat copay, and that does track towards that out-of-pocket maximum. Whereas the second column in all of these boxes reflects if you have to have that prescription filled at a standard select Walgreens. How do you know which tier your medication falls under? In a moment, I'll show you how to find that as well. Now, if you are on a monthly medication, have your doctor, talk to your doctor about writing that supply, that prescription in a 90-day supply. Another great way to keep those out-of-pocket expenses a bit lower. Now, it's real important to stay in the Florida Healthcare Network, because if you do step out of that network, you will not have coverage on any of these three plans. And this is the cost that you could expect to pay coming on your paycheck. And this one just jumped right off the page for me. This first plan is covered for employees. So that's fantastic. Now, Florida Healthcare is a wonderful network because they have a lot of benefits to their members. Not only do they have great doctors, and I can say that because I actually had Florida Healthcare as my carrier years ago. One of the most important things is right here, the importance of creating a member portal. If you're new to this plan, once your plan goes into effect, you're going to want to get in there and create a member portal. The value of that is all of your information is housed in one place. How to seek out those in-network providers. You have access to this information, as you can see, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's some wellness assessments that I would encourage you to take the time to complete, because then once you do, the Florida Healthcare Network doctors do have access to all of that information. How to find a replacement IED card, all of those things can be readily found in your member portal. Now, one of the great benefits to being a Florida Healthcare member is that they have a great fitness program where you can take advantage of different local gyms. How to find those gyms can be found right here. If you have this flip book, you can click on here and see the participating facilities that may be nearby you. There are quite a bit of other things here that I would encourage you to take advantage of. Doctor on demand, if you've ever been traveling or just didn't really feel like going to the doctor, or perhaps it's the middle of the night, seeking out virtual care is a great benefit. You know your body best, and can be something that you may choose. Of course, as you can see, co-pays do apply when seeking out that care. Another great benefit to having Florida Healthcare is this nurse advice line. I would encourage you to maybe have this phone number in your phone, so that if you do need to talk to a licensed registered nurse, or seeking out a second opinion, you can dial this number and have access to that service.